All right, let's get it started. Today's March 16th, 2020, and we are like seriously into this coronavirus thing.
Woo!
We'll call it
Yes.
a thing for now. I'm not even going to call it the P word that they're calling it. But there's a lot of stuff going on in the world right now. And we got a lot of beautiful things going on as well. So today, it's March 16th, 2020. Got Big Sexy on the line with us again. And this is actually episode 2 in Adolph's journey. So we're going to catch up. And, I think Adolph, first of all, what's up, brother?
What's going on, man? How you doing?
Hey, man, I'm just chilling. Shaved off the grayness. See what I got going on underneath there?
Yeah, I actually trimmed about a half an inch this week too. But it is it is what it is.
Yeah.
So,
man, hey, this is episode 2. So we kicked it off a couple weeks ago with kind of like what we're doing here on the journey. And I think it'd be really cool to start off with hitting people with some results. So today is Monday, right?
Yes.
Yeah, Monday. So we're exactly 30 days in, 1 month in.
Yes.
And I just say let's kick it off with some results, man. So how about you kick me with some weight measurements and kind of where you are with the results.
Okay. So my weight now, and I actually haven't even I got up a little bit late today, so I didn't do my numbers for today. I plan on doing them tonight when I do my workout and everything. But as far as up to last Monday goes, weight-wise, I am now at 458.
258?
258. Sorry, 458. I was like, got it back.
Bro, you get all those numbers, man. It's got to be. Hold on. No. It's lower than that, bro, because you were down 15 the last time we talked, and that was at 3 weeks. So that would have been last Monday, and it would have been, I think it was 40. I'd have to look it up, man. I think it's like.
Yeah, I've been dealing with numbers all this morning, dude. So I'm like.
Yeah, you're twisting it up, man. I'd have to leave and get to the screen. But last time we talked, so I think the official kickoff.
I was 460.
260.
Sorry, cheapers. I just did a quote and the numbers were 460. So so I was 260, and then I was 2 pounds below that.
Right. Well, I've got it tracked. I'd have to pull it up, but I know the last Monday you were down 15 as of last Monday for a 3-week span, because you were down like there was 10 and 3 and 2 were the steps down. The first week was 10 and then 3 and then 2. So then this week, whatever that is.
And that was as of last Monday.
Correct.
Yeah. So between last Monday and today, I don't know. I haven't done my numbers. I haven't checked.
Okay.
Like I said, I'm going to do that today, but I planned on doing it later on tonight. We just also got behind this week in being able to do this because I was traveling last week to go visit my stores. So
cool.
Yeah.
Well, we know you're at least down 15, and if we were going to be really conservative and put another 2 or 3 pounds on it, you're probably down about 18-ish.
Yeah.
At least. And sometimes, and this is what's cool also, tracking your progress, is you had a big drop initially, and then you did a 3 pounds and 2 pounds. And it's the same thing I found with my journey. Like I would have weeks where maybe I didn't lose any, and then a week where I lost 4 or 5, which is crazy. It's crazy, but amazing. And it really speaks to being consistent with your effort and just staying the course.
Yes. Now I know my waist was down to a 45 and a half.
Oh,
46. Yeah. So that's come down more. I don't remember what my thighs and my biceps were, my chest. I don't remember.
So this is real cool. So for people watching, This is kind of a rule of thumb for guys, that for every 5 pounds for every inch you lose around your waist, it equals about 5 pounds. So this is a real cool barometer, and this is why we measure your waist, because what could happen is your weight could stay the same or maybe drop a little bit, but if you drop an inch, that's 5 pounds of fat. So for every 5 pounds you lose, it ends up, for every 5 pounds you lose, it ends up being an inch on your waist, or if you said it conversely, for every inch you lose on your waist, that equals 5 pounds. That is amazing. So, Adolph, you started off your waist was at 50 and now you're at 45. So that would tell me you're down 25 pounds.
Yeah, that's about it.
Yeah.
That's about it. Because that's a pretty good rule of thumb. That's pretty much what the numbers have been.
Yeah.
You know, yeah. So
that's really cool. So along this journey, so if you're a month in, you're down 20, 25 pounds. Let's just say that. We'll have the real numbers tonight. As a matter of fact, and if you do that, when you do that, hit me up and I'll just put it in the comments below the video.
Perfect.
It's kind of like the real update. And brother, next time have the numbers ready.
I know.
Come on, man. I was wanting to see the numbers. I was waiting for them, man. This is like been the thing for today. I was like, man, I'm gonna talk to Adolph and get this.
Yeah, man, I apologize. Like I said, I got up late. I just had a lot of things going on this morning. So and I've been actually knee deep in work, which is pretty cool. So considering everything going on. Yeah. So but I'll have those for you, man.
Cool.
And everybody,
I'm just giving you a hard time.
Yeah, I know. It's all right.
So, so that's where you are with the numbers. We'll just say conservatively 20-ish pounds, maybe more. And your waist is down 5 inches. If you're watching this, guys, 5 inches in 1 month.
Yeah.
So Adolph, tell me with the program, is everything kind of flowing for you? Is it easy, or you're like, oh my God, this is so hard. I don't know what to do now. I'm just I want people to understand, like, I named this EzPhysique on purpose, but from your experience, what is it? Is it working like I say it does, like a computer program in the background, or how are you feeling?
It is. It's really easy. I mean, it's not really hard. I made some adjustments to my diet, which was kind of crazy, but I'm being as attentive as I can to my body and what my body's liking, what it's not liking. I made some dietary changes that kind of deviated from my plant-based diet.
Talk about that, man.
And well, I started incorporating a little bit more meat, a little bit more chicken, and a little bit more fish, to try and like change things up a little bit, and maybe like saying, well, maybe if I can use that as a protein base. And for me, it was a fail. It really didn't work good. I immediately started feeling more sluggish in doing the things that I was doing, just because I can tell, like, my body just didn't have the right fuel, kind of like when back in the old days, the prank, I say the old days, back in, the prank was to put sugar in somebody's gas tank and mess it up, which is a very cruel thing to do. And I'm not saying go do that. I'm just saying, or, if you put leaded and unleaded back when leaded was a thing, and your vehicle just ran sluggish. That's kind of the way it felt. And so it was really hard in that sense to get my body to fuel everything, fuel my workouts, and all of that. It was a hassle, and I didn't like the way it was making me feel. And I actually found myself gaining a few pounds. And so, you just say, okay, where was that fork in the road that I took that made me go this way instead of that way? And I just rewound and went back there and continued on. So, you know, I put myself back on a majority of a plant-based diet, and not completely vegan, but like I said, I do cheese and I do eggs, um, but and bacon. I'll do some bacon.
So I
And
want to say something here. This is, guys and ladies, who's ever watching this, this is real important. What Adolph just shared, and it's really one of the things behind EzPhysique that I want people to get out of this is that listen, learn how your body is always communicating to you. And what I find in working with so many people is that we stop listening to our bodies. We stop listening to the warning signs. Our body's always communicating. And what was real cool, because Adolph shared this with me earlier this week, that, a few days ago, that he wanted to add some more meat, didn't like the way he was feeling. And rather than grind and fight that, he listened to it and just flowed with what was working and what helped him feel good. And that's critical. And I want to applaud you for that, because
thank you.
I don't know, so many, and just the way we are in America now, we're so used to fighting. No, I'm going to do this no matter what, instead of just being at peace and listening to what's being communicated to us in this, in this situation. We're talking about our bodies.
Yeah.
So that's real
Well,
cool.
I remember back in the day, I had a bodybuilder friend of mine that we used to talk all the time. And this guy's was a professional bodybuilder, still is for all I know. But he used to talk about that a lot too, how getting ready for his competitions and stuff like that, even the smallest of things he could tell in his body. And I never really understood it because I was a lot chunkier, or maybe because I just wasn't caring at the time. So I never really understood that, never really grasped it until I started doing everything. And then right away, I could tell, because within 48 hours that I started this plant-based diet, I did it cold turkey. I've heard some people say you shouldn't shock your body like that, whatever. I just did. And I could tell
for
the
the people
difference.
that say that.
Yeah. I'm just saying I could tell. And then when I started incorporating the EzPhysique into my workout, then it was even another level that I can change, an even deeper level. And yeah, I could tell the sensitivity in my body, which is kind of weird because I always thought, well, I'm not that lean enough to really tell, but in actuality, it doesn't matter because I can,
That's right. That is 100% true. And what's so funny that you even bring that up, I was putting together, I'm working on an ebook right now. One of the bullet points in there that I talk about is what bodybuilders know that you don't. And it's
right.
exactly that. It's like when you really tune into your body and your food and your sleep and your water, bodybuilders are masters of manipulating your body. They go from big dudes, and a lot of times they're not that lean when they start off. And they go through this process of eliminating the fat and dieting. And it's so much to the point that if you eat a little too much salt or carbs, or they're really dialed into the effects that things like that salt, carbs, and all those things have on our body, how much protein to eat and that kind of stuff, how much fat or not. And there's a lot that we can take away from that. Even through my journey, what I noticed is I got leaner. My body didn't want to let go of the fat. It just really didn't. It was letting go in a much slower pace. And then I was able to notice just a lot of little things, like how my sleep was affected, whether I had carbs or not, how I looked based on the amount of carbs I ate and stuff like that. So I just want to say this is so important, and it's so cool that you're doing this, that you listen to your body, you tried something, and you're like, okay, didn't like the way I felt like, let me go back over here, and you're where you're at. That is such a huge deal. And I want to make sure that's a point, that this is what a lot of people are not doing. I get people that reach out and talk to me all the time, and it's one of the common things. Like, I've got a guy that I'm talking to right now, and he's just not listening to his body. He's telling me all these things that are going on, and he's just choosing to ignore it. So don't do that. Do what Big Sexy does, this guy over here. Cool. So you're down that amount of weight, 20-ish pounds, could be a little bit more. but somewhere in that over 30 days, it's just an update for those of you that are maybe just joining right here. Adolph's doing the EzPhysique program. This is Adolph's Journey that we're going to continue to do at least every week from here on out. Every week to 2, you know, life happens and stuff like that. Any other challenges or anything that you saw that you had along the way? Like, I know you're kind of doing some journaling yourself in between the times when we talk. So what challenges or things that did you have along the way?
I thought I would have more of a challenge, or the challenges would be more like if I win my travels for work, because I travel. Not every place that I go, I thought would be as conducive for healthy eating and stuff like that. I went down to the valley, and they're not as, I don't want to say advanced. That's a kind of a negative way of saying it, but I can't think of anything else. Like they don't have healthy food places like we do here in San Antonio. So it's a little bit harder to find healthier things to eat, but yet at the same time, because you know what to eat, what not to eat, what to stay away from, it's not that hard. And so that was surprisingly easy, especially down there. The hotel that I stayed at was a decent hotel, and they had a really nice fitness room. And the one machine that I can use, the bike, was the only machine that was broken.
Oh, man.
So that was crazy, because I was, you know, I had to do some other things to get some cardio done. But I loved the fact that I could be right in my room and do my EzPhysique workout. And I didn't have to go anywhere special. You know, I didn't have to go down. It didn't matter whether they had a fitness room or not. Everything I needed was right there. It was right here. You know, it was right here. It was right here. And so that was pretty neat. You know, as far as challenges, I really didn't have any other challenges other than the fact of like deviating from my diet. You know, outside of that, there wasn't really anything else that was challenging, or what I considered to be challenging. It was just, it was quite the opposite, which is really neat, because I know me, and I know how sometimes my lazy flesh can be, that it would be too convenient to not have something to go to. Like before, when I was relying on a gym, and I'm not negating gyms, and I'm not talking bad about gyms, but in my mind before, I always thought I've got to go to a gym, you know, to get my workout. And sometimes working long hours when you're on the road, for me, you know, getting up in the morning, like I said on the last one, and, you know, getting dressed, getting to the gym, getting in your workout, getting back to your, you know, hotel, taking a shower and getting ready, then starting your day, you know, it would, I get lazy and just be like, all right, well, you know, I'll do it tomorrow. The next thing you know, you got a whole week that's gone. And then by that time, your momentum is blown, you know, because you're not doing it. You got to build that momentum up again. And, you know, even for me, for being out on the road so many days last week, even coming back and being able to get on my bike was totally like consistent. It was like I wasn't missing anything. In other words, my body was right there. My body was eating cleaner, you know, burning everything a lot more cleaner, and my energy level was great. So, you know, being able to get back home, do my EzPhysique workout, as well as get on my bike and get some cardio in that way was perfect. You know, I didn't miss a step. It was great.
So that is key, because that's a big deal, because that thing, even if you miss the workout or two, let's just say that, for most people, it's not that big of a deal, but where it is a big deal is right here. So if you
Yes.
have this thing where I've got to get to the gym, I got to get to the gym, you miss a day, you miss 2 days, 3 days,
Mm-hmm.
exact same thing that happened to me. I'd get like, oh man, I haven't worked out in a week. And then you start feeling like you failed and you quit. And then you have this guilt and negative thoughts going on. And guess what that's really doing? It's pulling you away
Yeah.
from just jumping back on and doing it. And
You
so
it
it's
becomes
awesome that
self-defeating.
it's awesome
Yeah.
that you see that, and that's the way it is. This is why, it's exactly why I set it up this way, because all those things in the past were things that I could use as an excuse. Like,
Mm-hmm.
well, the gym's crowded and there's probably a bunch of people, influencers
Yeah.
sitting on the machine doing this, so I'm not going to be able to use the machine.
Right.
And do I really want to go? And there it was. And so when I didn't go to the gym, then the next thing was like, I always felt like to eat healthy, I had to work out. Like if I was working out, I was eating healthy. And if I didn't work out, then I was eating like trash. Like
Yeah.
it's kind of a weird, and I just remember that those two things were always tied together for me.
Yeah. Most of the time they are.
Yeah. And so, but with the way I put together EzPhysique, none of those things are excuses. And
Right.
I don't know. I think a lot of people watching this now, maybe you don't know, but I work out just twice a week. That's it for me. And I time my workouts. And right now I'm at like 30 minutes or less per workout
Right.
twice a week.
Yeah.
And I'm still for me, I'm really happy with the way I look and the shape that I'm at. So I'm in. So, that's really cool. That's really cool that you acknowledge because that's something I forgot about. Like, yeah, if you don't go to the gym once or twice, and now with what's going on in the world, with this coronavirus thing, I would put all my money on it that the gyms are going to be closed.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean,
It's
yeah,
tough. Like, I don't want to go to a gym with some nasty person wiping their nose, grabbing the handles. I'm just being real, I don't want to. And, and it's so weird, like a lot of people still, you watch them and they're not conscious of like touching stuff, touching their face. And I just feel like most people aren't really thinking about other people when they're thinking about themselves. Oh, I
Yeah.
better watch out because no, man, you might be the dude or the person carrying this stuff around, spreading it. So I think more people need to be aware of that. Anyway, I'm not going to the gym. And you can totally with the program EzPhysique work out right out of your house and not skip a beat, which is really cool.
Yeah. Another good example of that was not this past weekend, but the weekend before. Some friends of mine who are in a national touring act came through town, and they were doing their Texas portion of their tour, which was actually the last part of their tour. Mm-hmm. They played here, and then they went to Austin, Dallas, and then Houston. So I went and hung out with them on Thursday night when they were here. And then I had a really busy weekend that weekend. And then I drove with a friend of mine to Houston to go see them on the last day of their tour and take care of some other stuff that we had talked about with them. So I actually was out 3 days of not doing the workout, any workout. And once I was ready to go again, when I was back home, once again, it was something that was just, it was very, I still had, I didn't have any loss of energy, of ability or desire to do it. It was just, you just picked up and went going, and it was great. For me, I mean, I'm not, I got a ways to go. So I'm still, every little bit counts for me. And I always try and give my body at least one day of rest to just,
yeah. So you're definitely, and I know the journey that you're on. how about give us an update for that? Because some of you might have heard, like on the first video, something that you've said more than once is like, hey, I'm in a fight for my life. So
Yeah.
catch everybody else up with what that's about and where you are with that.
Well, I've had problems, some problems that came up with my breaking my right foot, and then that added complications to my left foot. Been through the operation on my left foot. Everything's healed up, looking great. And I'm actually getting ready to go this week, tomorrow, to talk to my foot doctor about scheduling surgery to get my right foot done, which they're basically going to do the same thing with that foot as they did my left foot, but there is some reconstruction that they're going to be doing to my foot, which is going to add to some extra time off and some extra healing. And so I've also heard from people that have had foot operations that, to make sure that whatever time they tell you to chill and whatever they tell you to do it to the fullest extent, because a lot of the people that I've spoken to tried to rush and hurry up the healing and wound up breaking their foot again.
Mm.
And some of those people had screws put in, and those screws came out. So they actually had to go back in and have surgery and have longer screws put in, and which created even a longer, healing timeline and stuff like that. So I'm, so that's where I'm at right now. And with everything going on right now with the coronavirus, I just heard today that there's a lot of hospitals that are postponing surgeries and stuff. I don't know if that's going to be the case for me, because the hospital that I go to, or I'm having the surgery done, is right next door to the doctor's office. And it's a kind of an outpatient surgical place. So I don't know if that's going to be affected. I don't know. Maybe it will, maybe it won't. I won't know until tomorrow. But, I'm just going to see how it goes and take it as it comes. But, I'm so ready to get this thing taken care of, man, and get on the other side of healing, and actually right now would be a good time, because of the fact that everybody's pretty much being asked to work from home, which I do anyway. I office out of the house, but a lot of the stores that I visit have shortened their hours, and even though they're still public, they're still open. Corporate is kind of like, hey, take it easy on the travel. So, and I'm blessed that I work for a company that's so conscious about their employees. They really are. It's a really good company, and I'm glad that they take care of us the way they do, and they have that concept of taking care of their employees, and their employees will take care of business. So, and it works. But yeah, that's where I'm at right now. But
good.
Yeah.
So let me ask you, so we're through a month. Do you have what's your goal? Do you have a goal for this upcoming month, or how are you feeling about?
My goal really is, my first and foremost goal is kind of outside of this, but deals with this, which is my foot. But I know all of this plays a big factor in that too. And this is kind of, well, this might, okay, here's a challenging thing. It just came to me, which is slowly becoming not a challenge, but it still is kind of a challenge. Is before, when I've lost weight and stuff, I've never really been a scale person or a numbers person. It's always been, I know what my goal is by how I feel and how I look, and and for me, how certain things fit clothes-wise.
All those things are actually more important than the scale number, but the scale number does give you kind of a
Right.
gauge,
Well, I mean, I'm on the MyFitnessPal app, and so that's where I plug in all of my numbers: what I'm eating, what I'm drinking for the day, my exercising, my workouts, everything, and that's all getting calculated, because in actuality, it's correct for me to be able to look and see my numbers, see my macros, see my nutrients, see everything that I'm putting into my body in order to know my body more. And in order to know where I want to go and what I want to do. What am I eating? I might eat something that after I eat it, a couple hours after I eat it, it's like, man, I just don't feel too well. Not that I feel like sick or anything like that, but maybe it's just, man, it's making it kick me into granny gear, and I'm feeling a little bit sluggish. Maybe I shouldn't eat that right now. Not that it's such a bad thing.
Mm-hmm.
But just keeping in track of, okay, well, what's working for my body, what's working for me and what's not. And that's a good instrument to do that. The whole scale, measuring the different body points, all of that stuff is good, and you can look at it as saying, oh man, it's just one more thing I got to do. Or if you look on the bigger thing, it says like one more thing that I get to do, So I'm always I'm always trying to look for the positive in things.
Yeah.
But that's the thing is being able to be diligent about plugging in my numbers, taking my measurements, just like I do every day. I check my sugars, I check my blood pressure, I do all these things. And I know my PCP, my doctor, she's like, don't get caught up with the numbers. Don't get caught up with the numbers now. And it's like, well, no, but I need to make sure I'm playing in the right ballpark, or something's got to change.
Well, this is we didn't plan on talking about this, but I'm glad you brought that up. That when you start the journey and you get serious, like tracking is a big part. I tell people, even with EzPhysique, for me, where I started the journey, I track the heck out of everything. Along the way of that tracking, you're putting a microscope, just what you're saying, everything you're saying, you put a microscope on what you're eating. You as you consume it, you can see the macros, the calories and everything, and then how you feel about it. And one of the coolest things about this process for me was, as I've gone through it, and I'm still lean, is I noticed that I'm more intuitive with everything.
Yeah.
That I don't have to track everything. And I'm starting to see where I'll let a day or two or three go by where I'm not entering, but I am tracking visually. And I know what's going on in my body. I know the types of foods that I like and that work with my body. So this is so important, such an important part of the journey, because it really re-educates you to being conscious of what is going in and knowing that your body is a machine that requires things, and it does need protein and carbs and fats, but what type and how do you respond to it? And then how does your body look once it gets in there? Where is this taking you? So I think I'm glad you brought that up, because it does. And this is what people are missing, man. Like one of the biggest things is they don't know this relationship with food. Like it's this thing where, oh, I love to eat this, but then they don't like the way they look, and they don't know how much of what their body needs. And then once they find out how much of what does it need, how do I get those things of what I like that my body needs? And once we can figure that out, man, you're like hitting homers. It becomes easy. It really does. Once you really understand that. It's part of it is the process that I'm hoping that people get to. Like, you're getting there now. You're really zooming in and knowing what your body needs and what it wants and how you feel. And that, my brother, is just amazing. It's beautiful.
Yeah. It's kind of like, I can't go based on what I just feel. I'll take the whole bike thing. Sometimes I'll get on my exercise bike and I'll be going through my bike. Now I got a deal. I'm doing 10 miles a day. And I know it takes me about 30 to 35 minutes to do 10 miles. And sometimes I don't feel like doing 10 miles. Sometimes I'm working out and it's like, my body just doesn't want to, you know, and it's,
Yeah.
and so if I just rode my bike based on how I feel, some of those days would be like 3 miles and then I'd be done. Cause it's like, oh yeah, I'm tired. I
That's
probably
amazing.
did.
Still,
I
still do
probably
miles.
did 10.
A lot of people would have that feeling and do no miles, like zero. Like,
Yeah, it'd be like, it felt like 10. You know, the reality is it didn't, but I have my numbers there. And those numbers are the guideline. The numbers are like, no, just, you know, shut up, quit complaining, and keep going. I'll tell you when you reach your 10, you know, and then usually, you know, my body's complaining, you know, because it doesn't want to. It's being rebellious. But I'd be just as ruthless with it as I would, you know, when I didn't. And then next thing you know, time's up, 10 miles, and you're done. And it's like, man, I could go more, you know. But so that's why numbers are good, because they help create those boundaries for you to keep your eyes on things, you know, keep your eyes on the straight and narrow of what you need to do.
so I want to say two things to that. First of all, is like the bike, the thing that he's doing. It's not officially part of the EzPhysique program, but I want to
No.
say it's beautiful because you're choosing. You're going and getting it. You're not letting it. You're just doing whatever you feel you got to do to get your health back, and I applaud you for that, because that's tremendous. The other thing that I want to say is where you're coming from with that is that even though your body may not feel like that, there's this thing of willpower. And this is huge because it's one of the things that I think we as Americans have gotten really weak on. It's like, how many of us have said, oh, I need to lose weight, or I'm going to lose weight, and it never happens. And so what happens when you say that over and over and over and over again, and you don't do that, it's like this, your willpower is getting weak for us to say, this is something I'm going to do. If you don't, you're wearing down your willpower. And it's one of the things that I find that people are confused. They're like, oh man, but it's so hard. And you know, the part of it is the confusion, but also the lack of willpower, and it's one of the things I notice about myself. And this is why I'm bringing this up, because it started right here with me is if I knew I had to lose weight, right, and I was obese, even if part of that was going to the gym 7 days a week, and even if part of that was eating dry chicken breast every day, and even if it meant buying a bunch of supplements all the time, all the things that I said I didn't want to do and didn't do, but even if that was the only way, if I was really committed to my health, I should have done it. And I didn't. And so there's this thing with willpower that if you know what you got to do, I mean, we all know at the end of the day, it comes down to diet and exercise, right? Move more,
Sure.
less. You know, there's a bunch of nuances in there, and this is a thing. And this is, again, bringing it right back to you, Adolph. Amazing job, man, because your willpower is so strong right now of you saying, hey, I'm going to fight for my life. I'm going to do whatever I feel I need to do. And it's just amazing stuff, man. It really is.
Yeah. 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 It's just a determination, you know. Like you said, I just, in my mind, I know I'm going to fight for my life. This is the time that it didn't get done before, but it's getting done now. And it's just a decision like any other decision you make when you wake up, you know, after you wake up during the day, you know, things you got to do. And it becomes a part of your life, and then you realize how good it is for your life. And then, you know, honestly, I deal with some regrets that I didn't do this earlier, that I wasn't this consistent earlier, you know, with things. But, you know, you are now. There's today, and you can affect today, and you can affect tomorrow. And, you know, get it done. Get it done.
Brother, I think that's a good place to stop. I was going to say, is there one thing you could say to people out there that aren't doing it? But man, you read my mind. You nailed it. Like, anybody that's watching, if you heard what he just said, that's what it comes down to. That's what it comes down to.
You know what? I do have one more thing to say, dude. um, everybody who's on a journey with everything, the one thing I can say that I've learned in talking with other people and other people that have contacted me about everything going on, is know your worth. No one will give you value but the value you place on yourself and the value you demand on yourself. So there's going to be plenty of people that are going to say you can't. They're going to tell you the things that you can't do, that are going to look at you and call you a farce and say, you know, mean things to you about you and stuff like that. You can't control that. But what you can control is you. And what you can control is who you are as a person, because that will outlive anything that anybody can ever say or try and put into you. You know, for me, I learned a long time. If God, I learned for God just told me one time, he said, look, Adolph, if you worry about your character, I'll worry about your reputation. And for me, that has been something that's been tried and true. You can only control the things that you have the ability to control, and that's you. And it doesn't matter what anybody says. It doesn't matter what anybody thinks. Even the negativity in your own mind about getting something done. You know, if it's good for you and it's healthy for you, then make the decision to do it and just do it. And don't be worried about the left or the right, who's going to say what or what's going to say this or what challenges you end up with that day. Get it done. Get it done because it's you.
Brother, I got nothing to add to that. Nothing to add to that. I am excited for you, bro, and I'm excited for, you know, this process, this journey. I will also tell you that you are looking noticeably thinner.
Yes.
You
Oh,
are.
you know, yeah, that's something I made a video the other day. Just out of the blue. It's been a few weeks. And I was just in my bathroom and I had my pants on and my shirt off and I did a video against the mirror, and I compared that to the video I did a month and a week ago. I could tell a difference. There's definitely a difference, you know, and that's great. That's more fuel for the fire, you know.
Right. That's right. Good stuff, man. So let's catch up, you know, next week or two. Let's make it no more than a couple of weeks, but you
Right.
know, maybe next week works, and then
Yeah.
get back to me with the numbers. Now, are you weighing and doing the measurements at the same time of the day when you do it?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I do everything at once.
Okay. Good.
Like usually what I'll do is I'll go do my EzPhysique workout. You know, I'll do my workout, and then after my workout, I'll do my weigh-in and I'll do my measurements.
Perfect. Cool. So awesome. So if you're catching the last part of this, we're going to add this in the comments somewhere below. And
Yes.
depending on how long it takes for me to get the video up, if you get that to me sooner, then I'll just kind of post it in the main comment section.
Yeah.
All right, brother. Hey, man, I appreciate you. I'm super excited about your journey.
Man, me too, brother. I'm excited.
Yeah. And you're doing the cool stuff, man. You're just putting in the work and just waiting for time to go by. Because this is the other thing. If you just as long as you're doing the work and doing the things you need, it becomes this kind of a cool, like, just waiting for results to show up, right?
Yeah.
Kind of
I mean, if you're doing something right and it's consistent, it'll show.
Yes, sir. So on that, I want to say this has been episode number 2 of Adolph's Journey. Adolph, thank you for being so sharing and transparent, brother, because
Sure.
I know that's a personal commitment that you don't have to do, and in so doing, you are blessing other people that are out there that you can be an encouragement and support to. And so I appreciate that, because I know it's going to bless somebody else, and just continue to do you, man.
I appreciate it, man. I appreciate you, brother.
Thanks,
And I
man.
appreciate the encouraging words. That means a lot to me. That's very heartfelt. Thank you.
You're welcome, bro. You're welcome. So until next time, man, episode 3 is coming up. We'll hit you guys back later with where Adolph is with his numbers.
Yes.
All right, man. We're out. Thank you, brother. Peace.
Brother.
EzPhysique.
Pow, baby.